So starting
So tell me one thing, like, so which version of the .NET you are using?
I'm using .NET 4.5.2 the framework.
So there is a .NET Core is there, no?
.NET Core is there. Yeah.
Did you happen to use that?
No, I didn't get a chance to really get into chance, but .NET Core will give some additional DLLs as of my knowledge. So we have ASP.NET Core, which will give some additional. I can so while working, design the components, right, writing the classes, business logic. So I observed that core will giving the inbuilt features. In .NET we have to write our own. So. And it by default it will give the dependency injection. By default it will give containers, and that context modes it will give.
So what is the latest in the .NET nowadays?
Latest in the .NET, right? Framework wise, some C# 8.0 came, 7.0, 8.0 came. To be frankly, I'm not getting time to explore these things because morning 10 to evening 10 total into calls, fixing the issues, developing activities. Yeah, but whatever we can see the problems, right? Those were
So can you call yourself as a full stack?
Yeah, full stack. Yes. Even I have experience in
developer.
Yeah. Yes, I do have an experience.
What is your expertise in the data side? What kind of experiences you have from a data side? Are you involved in data modeling or any? In Accenture, right? That project, there is a workbench, trade credit workbench application from Markel Corporation client. It's a UK based client, right? So there closely interacted with the on-site manager in terms of finalizing the data model. So database already the project is already database is there. We are migrating that application, UI and all layers and all. So repository pattern with Unity framework, implementing the dependent design patterns, and because the client wanted to rewrite the existing application into newly. So front end we have used Angular, and Web API as a service layer, so that in future if you wanted any additional functionality, we are going to work on top of that, right? Providing the new endpoints. So the Markel Corporation is something like LIC, Life Insurance Corporation of India in India, similar to in UK, which will provide insurance to different vendors in person, like companies, entities, everything. So in that project I got. So what are the issues that you faced while modeling the data?
Yeah, issues in the sense database design
issues or maybe some sort of what do you call that, trade-offs.
Correct. So the first difficulty when I experienced is database design, right? So we always depend on the customer actually, since we need to design based on the old database to a new requirement, always depending on the customer. So to add a new field or anything, first initially we have created a schema actually. So every day or every 1 week, say a new field is adding. So after discussing with the customer, a new field is adding, and we are working. We are in the development process, right? We are working and we are writing the queries, data, pulling the data. So a new field added, again schema has to change it, and again we dropped all the tables, we deleted all the data. Again we need to insert all the data. So that was a difficult process actually. Since developers are freshers, new 2 years, 4 years junior resources, that was very difficult actually. So when we came to in the morning, we got an email that DB has to refresh. Again, we need to insert the scripts. So there are multiple tables, right? So again, data has to be present in order to work our application.
Manage it finally.
Finally, till that time we did the scripts. We keep manually we did the we have keep ready with the scripts actually. So I'm keeping on monitoring. Sometimes we used to DB refreshing at 1 o'clock night in the 1 a.m. And once I receive the mail, I have to insert all the scripts so that developer who will come in the morning, they'll get ready with the work. That is one issue. And entity framework, we have followed DB first approach. So we could have followed data DB first, code first approach actually. So we could have followed that one, since we are depending on the client, right? So so we have followed that one. And database wise, stored procedures, like sometimes we need to modify the stored procedures and improving the performance of the query. Sometimes we since it is a old DB, right, we are followed the same, creating the indexes and all, so primary key, foreign key and all. What happened in one of the scenario, there is a individual details, I mean the customer individual details and employee information is also there actually. So in individual database, employee table will be there. So somehow they forgot to provide the index on a particular employee info GUID column. So what happened while updating the data, so while inserting, it is inserting properly, while updating the data, this for two regions, EU and US region. US region they have created the index properly. For EU region, different server, right, different server to manage the load. For EU region database, they forgot to implement the index on a employee info GUID column. So due to that, what happened, so since it is a bulk updation happening, so employees are logging in real time, right, they are accessing, so deadlock was happened. I mean to say, it took how much, it took 20 seconds to perform the update. So there we got an issue as a deadlock. So that actually deadlock was happened, and we are trying to investigate from the code side. We don't know, right, as that is an existing system and we are rewriting, we don't know, we are using the old database. And we're investing in the code side, then the API side, then going to the database side, and it internally invoking Pega services, different services. Finally we came to the conclusion after seeing all the things that index is missing. So we provided index and the issue got resolved. So what I mean to say is, whenever these issues are occurring, so we will get some huge pressure actually. So it got it.
So let's assume if you're given a new program today, right, new project or anything like that.
Okay.
What's your take on doing a data normalization?
Okay, new project. Okay, first what I'll do is I'll analysis more actually. So analysis more and finalize the entity. Entity in the sense the data model, right? We are going to create a table, right? So I'll prepare the entity and prepare the fields. So what are the basically normalization, we have some normal forms, first, second and third number, up to BCNF we are going to normalize. And using that concepts, I'll reduce the dependency between the tables and remove the duplicate things, and imposing the
first of all, nowadays in the current trends, do we really need a normalization?
Current trends, that is we have to follow, right? Normalization basically processing of removing the duplicate when interrelated tables, right? So, and we need to see the entity always depends on, I just, let's say for example I'm creating a course model, students going to enroll the courses, there is a relation between the student and courses, right? We need to create a primary key or foreign key, put the indexes, and whatever the features which SQL Server is providing, we have to use. Let's say for example in one scenario, there are thousands of records, right? We want a record in a particular numbers, 50 to 100 I want a records. So in SQL Server 2012 we have a feature, some fetch offset, using those we can get it, right? So in older version that feature is not available. So we can make use of the SQL Server feature also, we can use, and we can implement whatever additional benefit is giving, that concept we can implement. I mean to say that we have to analyze more. So analyze more and create the database, because the database which we are creating, so people are going to use 5 years, 10 years, 15 years also, right? If they wanted to do some migration, so you should support, the database has to support. So for that we need.
Do you think if you are designing a database, if you are modeling, right, do you really keep in mind about the load and all that?
Yeah, of course. Load and all we need to. So that's what, right? That's what we have to see. That's what load and all, and also for testing also we have different environments. and DevMirror, QA, and
yeah. So one
Stage.
question there. So don't you think that if you normalize too much, that will hinder your performance and all that?
Performance wise, we can take care. What are the measures we need to take? That we need to take performance in the sense load actually. So the number of users accessing the database, that we call as a load, right? The load is more, means the environment is different. If you are hosting the application in development dev environment, the load is different, and the production environment, the load is different, right? So we'll take care of those aspects, indexes, some partitioning, and all we can take care. And also we can see, I can give one example. Logging is an example. Whatever operation you're doing, right? So is there any exception come, we are going to log. There is a two tables, API log and exception log. API log, basically we are hitting any web API, we are going to store the request URI, what is the input content, request content body, and what is the output, and what is the status code, and all that we will store in the API log table. Exception log table, actual exception going to be stored in the exception log, and we are maintaining a correlation ID between two tables. And so if you are maintaining, if you are doing the log, right, since it is many days, number of 1 year data, if you see the 1 year data, it will be huge. So the application accessing the database, if any exception got occurred, to log the exception, it will take too much time because of the load, right? What we'll do now, we will take one more server actually. 2512 is the actual production DB server. 2514 we will take. What we'll do, we will dump 1 month data, recent data, to in that one, so that people will query into 2514 database only instead of 2512, which is giving more load. So we can query against to that database. We can follow some steps and all.
Okay, so that's one thing.
What I mean to say is,
you don't have experience in the mobile development, no?
Mobile development long back, I have used Xamarin to develop one small APK.
So what is your experience in terms of web development?
Web development, yeah, I have good experience actually. So
what are the technologies you have used?
I've used HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and Bootstrap I have used, and AngularJS. Yeah, I used AngularJS and Angular.
Which version of Angular?
Angular 4. Angular 4 and Angular normal version also. AngularJS also I have used, like where we have scope, root scope, and
so
we have
what are the merits and demerits of Angular?
Angular, it is a single page application, right? So unlike our ASP.NET MVC or ASP.NET, it will not provide the controls, drag and drop controls. Everything we need to create in a class components. It's a component driven programming model. So if you see, basically it will.
So what are the patterns there? Can you explain the patterns involved
in Angular?
Especially with respect to the way you take the data.
Yeah, publisher subscriber,
MVVM and all that.
Yeah. Basically knockout, if you consider, that is MVVM. So this is MVC. The MVC pattern we have followed, and view will be there, and component will be there, and this will be interacting with the API, and API will interact with the database. And if you see the basic building blocks of Angular, we have components, directives, pipes, we have modules, and modules and services. We have services plays major role in Angular. Services, modules, components, and pipes, async pipes, and we have some inbuilt Angular packages, like for material, if you wanted to use material grid and all those, we need to use. And coming Angular 8, in sometimes what will, if I have developed an Angular 4 application, right? So ng modules, no need to include all the modules. In recent versions, whichever we are using in the code, those only it will keep into the production. ng module.
So what is your application you worked on about? What's from a domain standpoint, what exactly is that?
It is a insurance I worked on, banking I worked on, and recently it is a tax domain.
tax domain.
Filing the income taxes.
So
Employees.
if I say Angular and the web, the integration and the database side.
Correct.
In all these four sides, which is your in which area are proficient good enough?
Good enough is front end. I'm good actually. So and I'm more good at on service layer, implementing the services, creating the services. That area I'm good. And .NET, C#.NET. So if you can ask me, so if any problem comes, right, how to design, if you wanted to provide a solution, I'm ready to always C#.NET design patterns. Yeah, server good enough, and web API as well.
So tell me about any caching mechanisms that you're involved.
Caching, we have used memory cache only. So that is system.net memory is a class, and we need to take an interface to store the object into the cache, get, put, those things accessing. So and also we are going to
caching and all that. Anything?
Sorry?
Anything in browser caching?
Browser caching, no, actually only memory cache we have implemented. Angular side, no, I didn't get a chance. I would design the pages, components, services, that level material I have used. Memory cache extensively we have used, and to clear the cache, to add the cache, and we have a sliding exploration, some time, how many minutes time, how much time the cache object should be available for the next subsequent frequent request.
Okay. So you have basic .NET skills, right?
Yeah.
Knowledge and STL concepts.